1 daripada 10 penduduk dunia tinggal di kawasan yang mengalami pencemaran udara teruk. Itu fakta yang dikeluarkan Pertubuhan Kesihatan Dunia (WHO) menerusi laporannya pada Selasa.
The air is so polluted that it's darkened the sky. A recent study show that even breathing this kind of air for an hour can reduce a person's life expectancy by 20 minutes.
Experts have identified diesel cars as being partly responsible for the worsening air quality and increasing level of fine dust in this country.
Traffic-related air pollution. Emissions from motor vehicles are the single most significant source of air pollution in many Malaysian urban areas. Improved knowledge about the quantity of pollutants that the vehicle emit in the air has becoming a high-priority research question for authorities who are responsible for managing vehicle emission impacts on air quality, especially in urban areas. Increase in urban population, number of cars, vehicle miles travelled, and traffic congestion are just a few of the trends that suggest that exposure to traffic-related air pollution is on the rise, particularly in countries with rapidly growing economies. In addition, land use practices in these countries have resulted in population increase near traffic, which suggests that motor vehicle emission must be considered in the context of their proximity to populated areas. Statistics in Malaysia have shown that from 25,101,192 million motor vehicles registered until 31st December 2014, about approximately 2 million tons of carbon monoxide, 237,000 tons of oxides of nitrogen, 111,000 tons of hydrocarbons, 38,000 tons of sulfur dioxide, and 17,000 tons of particulate matters are emitted into the atmosphere. Concurrent with the increasing awareness of the impact of vehicular emission on the global environmental quality, the industry concerned has invented many new technologies on reducing the emission level. These include catalytic converters, reformulated fuels, and natural gas vehicle. Malaysia is promoting the use of cleaner fuel, especially in powered vehicles. There are 6 sources of traffic air pollutants, and these include carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, hydrocarbon, ozone, nitrogen oxide, and particulate matter. One of the instruments that can be used to detect the source of trap is P-Track. This portable instrument detects and counts ultrafine particles that often signals the presence of air pollution. What are the sources, like main sources of traffic-related air pollution?
Traffic-related air pollutants, it's emitted from vehicles. The process of combustion process, exhaust combustion process from the engines that have 2 types, diesel types and petrol types of engines. And the main sources are from vehicles and could be as well from, I mentioned about the cars and motorcycles, and it could be from the shipping industry as well.
What are the harmful substances, like in engines or in any combustions, that can actually can be harmful to all of us?
When the fuels from the engines are like, they have this heating process to make sure, for example, the car to move. So this heating process will heat up all the chemicals inside the fuels, and then with the evaporation process as well, and it will release amounts of pollutants from these chemical fuels, for example, hydrocarbons, nitrogen dioxide, particles, and what I mentioned yesterday, we have like the non-emissions and emissions factor that contribute to the particulate matter concentration.
In your opinion,
yes,
how do you think we can reduce the traffic-related air pollution? I mean, if you were to do something, like, what would you do?
If I do something, what
if you were able to do something,
of course, I will apply the technology application, in terms of the delivering the sources of information to the public, so that public know that, for example, if they are pedestrians, if they are cyclists, what they should know, the amounts of the air that the expression pollutants that they're breathing, it's whether it's clean or not clean. Try to change the policy, perhaps, maybe try to convince to the public, for example. And apart from that, there are lots of campaigns that we can, conduct by conducting, for example, no car stays, for example, we can encourage the public to cycling or walking for the short distance.
In order to determine the source of traffic-related air pollution, our group conducted a traffic survey at KTM Serdang. Each member of the group must count the number of vehicles on the road for about 45 minutes. The number of vehicles that needed to be recorded are lightweight vehicles, heavyweight vehicles, bicycles, cars, taxis, buses, and motorcycles. The number of vehicles are recorded and tabulated. From the graph obtained, we observed that cars and taxis have the highest count, which is 2,370, followed by motorcycles, which is 300, and also light good vehicles, which is 184. The least number of vehicle that is on the road is heavy good vehicles, which is 88. There were no pedal cyclists. Although the amount of cars and taxis that we have recorded are high, the amount of cars and taxis during the peak hour, which is around 8 a.m. in the morning and also around 5 p.m. in the evening, is usually higher. The number of good vehicle is lower compared to other vehicles because they usually travel at night. Basically, motorcycles, cars, taxi, light good vehicles, heavy good vehicles and buses emit carbon dioxide, which is one of the greenhouse gases. They also emit hazardous air pollutants such as nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, fine particulate matter, sulfur dioxide, and volatile organic compound into the environment by the burning process of fuel, either gasoline or diesel, from those vehicles. These group of chemicals are commonly referred to as toxic air pollutants, which lead to environmental issues and urban air quality problems. For instance, the formation of smog and climate change is due to the thinning of the ozone layer. Exposure to traffic-related air pollutant, especially from vehicles, may adversely affect human health. These health effects depend on the short-term and long-term exposure. Short-term exposure to traffic air pollutants can cause immediate symptoms like eye irritation, coughing, and shortness of breath. In terms of long-term exposure, it can affect those with respiratory problems such as asthma and bronchitis, and it also enhances the risk of life-threatening conditions like cancer and birth defects. Children and elderly are very sensitive to air pollution as their body's defense system and lung system aren't fully developed or have already passed its prime. A research conducted in Kota Baru, Kelantan shows that roadside hawkers who are exposed to air pollutants have respiratory health symptoms and reduced lung function.
Sebenarnya Kak ada macam sakit-sakit macam batuk ke asma ke ada tak?
Ada batuk ada lah.
Aku rasa macam sebab kat sini kan busy kan. Aku rasa tu macam
Macam mana?
menyumbang tak kau punya sakit batuk tu? Ya.
Kadang-kadang saya batuk sampai macam lama lah berlarutan lah. Makan masa juga lah nak baik lah. Sebab batuk je tau. Macam tu
Yelah.
jadi aku semput.
Another study was carried out among public bus drivers in Klang Valley who are associated with fine particles are shown to have respiratory illness and reduced pulmonary functions. There are many ways to overcome the traffic-related air pollution issues within cities and other places. One of the ways stated by the United States Environmental Protection Agency is to drive less, which means to reduce the miles driven that contribute to fewer emissions. People can walk or cycle to go to nearby places. They can also carpool with their friends if they want to go to the same workplace or anywhere else instead of driving alone. Furthermore, we can cycle as it can be very helpful in reducing the traffic air pollution. Bikes can improve a city's air quality as they reduce the carbon dioxide by not emitting any pollutants that is usually released by engine combustion. For instance, a study have shown in Japan whereby most of their residents use bicycles in order to have cleaner air. Using public transportation can also help reduce the emission of traffic air pollutants. Public transportation such as train can carry a higher number of passengers and it uses less fuel. Buses, especially those that use biodiesels, are probably the best form of transportation that is friendly to the environment. Besides that, planning routes is a must before going to any trip. Planning out the route can help prevent any road construction or other traffic jams, which can reduce the traffic congestion and contribute to lower production of air pollutants. As a road consumer, he or she must have the responsibility to take care of the environment in order to have cleaner air. For example, by driving economically, such as accelerating gently and obeying the speed limit, can help people to use less petrol. This not only can save their money, but can also also produce less pollution and prevent from having an accident. In conclusion, we should address this issue of traffic-related air pollution as an issue that will affect not only us as a person, but us as a nation. This issue must be dealt with for the benefit of our health and our future generation. Our environment and our earth is our responsibility.